guys, and welcome back to another episode of Draw with T. Today we are doing something kind of different, kind of unique, kind of strange, and a little weird for me. So, this is not a character from Kalismir. This is, this character is both me and not me. Those of you who follow me on TikTok know this character. This is Max. Those of you who don't have no idea what's going on, and I will try to explain, but it might just be a little hard to if you don't know much about TikTok or the culture there. So, Max is a character that is based on me, and the reason that she is based on me is because I dress up and I act her out on TikTok. She is what we call an OC, and OC stands for Original Character. And there's original character cosplay on TikTok and elsewhere in general, but I think it really has kicked off on TikTok. And original character cosplay is basically where you come up with a character, and instead of drawing it, or writing it out, you put on the appropriate costume and then you act it out. And since TikTok is an app where you can basically do whatever you want to 15 seconds of whatever music or meme sounds that you like, there's a lot of opportunity to have some fun inventing this OC and really bring them to life, and I've had a lot of fun doing that. Max came about just kind of by accident. I dress up in my armor and I do silly TikToks quite often, and late one night I wanted to do some armor TikToks, but it was too late at night, so I just kind of threw on a leather coat and decided to just, have some fun. I didn't intend to post any of the stuff I made, I just kind of wanted to play around and test some things out, and I ended up accidentally inventing this character, Max. So at the time, I honestly didn't have much of anything for costuming. I had my suit of armor, but I had recently, downgraded every bit of clothing that I owned, and I just didn't have anything funny or weird, so Max ultimately just had to be whatever I had lying around, which was basically a few pins and things that I normally wear, but all layered together. Basically, the idea with Max is that she's kind of if any of you have seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she's kind of an homage to that. The story is, the hashtag I use for her is Max the Knight. Sorry, Max the Urban Knight, I believe. Or no, I believe it is Max the Knight and the hashtag Urban Knight. So Max is kind of the protagonist of this story set in our world, and imagine if it's our world, but, medieval monsters are coming through portals and they want to take over our world. So imagine dragons and demons and giant snails, I guess, because that was a thing, although I don't have a giant snail costume. And she's destined to save the world, or rather the city. And there is a bit of hilarity to it because she's not really qualified for this. She's kind of a burnout, washed up, whatever. Not the chosen one at all, by any stretch of the imagination. And what kind of defines her as the chosen one is she was basically chosen by this magic sword, and yes, that is a purposeful homage to Excalibur. I am not trying to be incredibly original with this series. That element with the sword kind of just happened on accident when I was shooting some of the TikToks, and I decided that Max was just going to pull a sword out of nowhere for one video, and then it happened again. And then it made sense to happen again, and the next thing you knew, I suddenly had this character that had the magical ability to basically pull a sword out of nowhere, which is basically just pulling a sword off screen, but it looked really cool, and I was really proud of myself. So yeah, that's basically the extent of her power. The story is kind of, she's kind of like a burned out nothing. And then late one night, she, something calls her over to some trash heap, and there is the hilt of a sword, which for some reason, she reaches down and pulls it out, and, suddenly, boom, magic powers, and suddenly, boom, all the evil guys know she exists, and she's got to run for it. And then, her life after that is being the sort of reluctant person that's got to save everybody from these monsters, and a mix of drama and comedy. a lot like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They're like I'm unadulteratedly taking a lot of inspiration from that in its mix of comedic material, just good romping action material, but then also more serious themes too, about how it's like how it can suck to be the chosen one. You're probably not going to live very long and stuff like that. But for the time being, the story is in the elementary phases of it. So that's kind of that's kind of the story. If you guys are interested, you can go check it out on my TikTok. Right now, it's not really being presented as a sequential story yet. It's just kind of appropriate sounds that match Max's character being acted out, not necessarily in a sequential fashion, but I am actually now working on writing episodes of it, just kind of to practice my my script writing. And I'm going to break that down into 1-minute episodes, or rather 1-minute scenes that you put enough of them together and you get kind of an episode. So that's going to be fun. The TikTok's been quite fun, and it's now gotten me into this sort of hobby of both coming up with OC characters and acting. And I kind of wanted to take a break from drawing Casimir stuff at the time, so I thought, hey, why not draw Max? Which I was game for at the time, but I felt really weird doing it and showing it to people, because I was literally drawing a character that is me, that's just me dressed up. And it gets even crazier because now that we're having nice weather, this is the leather coat I'm wearing around out and about when I do walk dogs and whatever. And I've left the pins in because it's too much effort to take them out and put them back in all the time, because it's going to ruin the coat if I do. But so I feel like I'm going out in cosplay, even though I don't know if it really counts as cosplay. This is kind of an interesting weird factoid there. I guess it's in a way art mimicking life, mimicking art, if you wanna go down that road. But yeah, so that's kind of the story, and we've kind of breezed through me sketching and inking Max here. So now I'm coloring Max, and this is where I start not enjoying the art, because I start pulling the colors directly from the screenshots on the left there, and they kind of work. I actually kind of am okay with where it went, but I feel like the colors could be massaged a lot more, just to make them more unified, and I didn't do that, and I feel like the end result ended up looking a little bit more amateur for it. And after this, I actually got quite frustrated with how my color work has been turning out, and this was kind of the last straw, and I was like, okay, well, this is frustrating. I'm not happy with this, and I've never been very good at color. It's not something I've been focused on, and every teacher would always tell me that I kind of suck at it. I don't necessarily think they're wrong, but whatever. After I did this, I ended up talking with a friend, and my gosh, she gave me some amazing tips on some amazing digital coloring tips that I will hopefully in several episodes be able to enact. For the time being, not so much right now. Yeah, so here, I didn't ink that very well, did I? Oh well, it's not that hard to clean up. There we go. So yeah, Max's color palette is literally just mine, and it works. It's not terrible. In the original video, things aren't terribly color matched, but there's a fine difference between art and actual life. And when it comes to art, sometimes you don't use black to mean black. Sometimes you use a very dark blue, and that translates better, especially if you can get it to just, meld with the other colors. I know enough about color theory to know that. Gotta say, though, just right now, that I am very happy with how her glasses turned out. That opacity, that shine is perfect. Here, you're gonna see me struggling to apply the rainbow. I decided to be smart and grab the rough that I did for Sketchbook 33, because I really liked the rainbow colors on that one, and I just decided to divide each of the rainbow things in half half yellow, half, I believe it was half yellow, half green, or whatever that I did. And then from there, further divide everything up. And I think it worked. I think it worked very nicely, even though it's kind of hard to add rainbow to stuff because that'll instantly screw up your color theming. But I do it anyways because I love rainbows. Love them a lot. And from here, you're going to see me start shading stuff. It's honestly nothing you haven't seen me do before. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about Max on TikTok. Up until now, I've basically just been posting videos of her, but I actually managed to raid my family's Halloween stuff, and we have some kind of stuff for costuming. Not a whole lot, at least not a whole lot that I have access to. We have more that's stored elsewhere, but to get at it would be too much effort, and I just don't have the heart to, like, impose that on my parents. It would seriously be so much effort to dig it out that it probably wouldn't be worthwhile, but I have some masks and some robes and some capes and stuff, and I'm going to use that to portray some very B-roll, well, not B-roll, but like B-movie style villains. Now, unfortunately, I can't have an animatronic dragon or anything, but I've got an executioner, I've got a really nice looking devil. I mean, really nice looking. You guys should really tune in for that when I unveil that character, which will be in a little bit, though maybe by the time this video airs that'll be out. This character has some amazing horns, and you know, they wear a suit. They're a business devil because I don't know, there's something really amazing about that. There will be a dragon that is basically just, you know, as you could expect a costume dragon to look. Unfortunately, I really wish I could have secured some kind of raptor mask or something, but unfortunately I could not. But yeah, so there's going to be some villains, and they're actually going to look somewhat decent. I'm hoping that people enjoy it for what it is, in that it's kind of a fun series, you know, but a low budget series, and I do hope that the campiness of it has a charm to it rather than coming off as just poorly done. It's very fun to be shooting movies and stuff. I find it can be frustrating sometimes because I hail from kind of an animation background. So in animation, you can dream up anything you can draw. If you want to have a dragon crashing through a castle wall, you can draw that. You can do that. Now, unfortunately, if you want to film that, well, then you better have a castle, a dragon, and a castle wall that you can destroy, possibly more than once. And that very quickly made me realize that I had to be very economic with the sort of things that I write for Max's story. Although I am planning on also doing some animation work for her, because I mean, TikTok is just a medium of 15 to 60 second videos, so it's still a lot to animate, but you know, like little animatics, I could probably get away with something like 40 drawings for an action-packed scene, maybe, which is, you know, it sounds like a lot because it is, but you know, it would be a lot more economical to do that than 1,000 drawings, which it could be, you know, in some of these instances. But the idea is to, kind of have this intellectual property that's sort of multimedia on a level that I don't know gets done very often, at least not by, kind of a single person. You know, obviously there's been, I mean, you look at like superheroes and there's comics, there's books now, there's TV shows, there's movies, all that. But kind of looking to do something similar here with Max, where some of the episodes are just, filmed, and then some of the episodes are possibly animated. Like, if Max has got to crash through a castle wall and fight a dragon, well, I have a lot more chance of that happening in animation than happening, being able to film that. But filming is quite fun. There are things that it's much better at and faster at than animating. For example, just a character talking is a lot easier when it's done with a person. And there's certain subtleties that I wouldn't know to animate. That being said, by doing this sort of live acting, I find myself looking at what I do and my motions and the successful ones, and I look at it like, oh, okay, well, I'll keep that in mind if I ever have to animate a scene like this, because there's certain subtleties that I can just animate over, like translate it into animation. So this new hobby of mine is definitely kind of improving on skills that I had, and I hadn't even realized that would happen. I knew that if I did some live acting, it would help me kind of frame shots and stuff, and my knowledge of animation would help me to frame shots for live action. But the fact that it goes both ways is kind of cool, honestly. And, oh, by the way, here I am changing up Max's eye, so it really bothered me, the first rendition that I drew, so I just had to come back, even though the image was done, and redraw her eye. Even though it looked nice in the sketch and in the ink work, something about taking it to color, it looked really odd. And maybe you guys see it there too now that I kind of turn it off and on. I think it just went a little bit too wide. It's maybe the problem. Maybe it was also a bit lower. I'm not entirely sure, but I do like the new eye that I drew here. And this is, again, if you remember in the episode where I did Scath's portrait, I talked about the problem with doing an entire image from sketch to finish in a day is that inevitably I want to go back and fix something. Often it's an eye or a nose or something, and if I just sketched it and left it and came back to it the next day, I would have seen that, fixed it quite easily, and then saved myself some time. This was the last time that I kind of did that, where I did a portrait in one day. Going forward, I haven't done it since, although I haven't really done a finished portrait since this one. Well, there's one more coming up, and then I'm probably taking a break from doing character portraits, at least finished ones. I'm gonna probably do some studies or something, or I might start animating some stuff. I'm not quite sure yet. Just need a little break. I've been doing the portrait thing for kind of a long time now, and, just want to change things up. Anyways, guys, we're getting near the end here. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like the idea of Max. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter if you do or not. I'm going to proceed to do it on TikTok anyways. You guys on YouTube probably won't see it. Actually, that being said, I might do some compilations of the videos and start uploading them here, but you're not expected to watch them. But if you like the idea, check me out on TikTok. It's not as bad an app as everybody makes it out to be. It's probably going to be a big thing here coming up. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. I'm having fun, which is what matters most, guys. Anyways, have a good evening, stay safe, and see you in the next episode, guys.